Hi students, have you been outside recently and seen the daffodils starting to bloom? To me, when I see daffodils, I think about spring. It's time to put my winter gear away and get ready for the warmer temperatures that spring brings. Daffodils are one of the first flowers to bloom or open up as a flower after the winter frost. This yellow daffodil has 6 petals that are in a triangle shape. The petals are around a cup that is also called a corona. I've heard the word corona a lot this year. Did you know corona means crown? Inside the crown are the parts of the flower that attract insects for pollination. One fun way to learn about flowers is to do a daffodil dissection. A dissection is when you take apart the flower part by part. Let's start with the stem. The stem is a tube that supports the plant and lets water and food move through the plant. Next are the petals. There are 6 petals on a daffodil. Petals are there to attract insects. The corona is a cup that holds the pollinating parts of the flower. Do you see why it's like a crown with the wavy edges? A flower needs to be pollinated in order to make more seeds, and most flowers cannot do this alone. Insects that pollinate daffodils include bees, flies, and the hawk moth. So flowers have a way to give insects a treat. Inside this long tube, it has nectar. Nectar is a sweet juice that insects are attracted to. They come and sip it out of this tube. While the insects are drinking the nectar, they bump up against these other tubes that have pollen on them. The insect often gets covered with pollen, and as it moves to another daffodil, it mixes the pollen around. This is called pollination. Pollination is important to make seeds. I've removed all the tubes that are important for pollination. Can you see what looks like little seeds of the flower? You could take these daffodil seeds and plant them in the soil. Give them water and sunlight, and they will grow. But you have to be patient if you'd like to get it to flower. It would take 4 to 5 years for a daffodil to bloom from a seed. That's why most people plant daffodils by the bulb. A bulb is the resting stage of certain plants. I don't have any daffodil bulbs to show you, but a daffodil bulb is similar to an onion that you might have in your kitchen right now. Like an onion, a daffodil bulb has a bud in the center, inside. It is surrounded by white, meaty leaves called scales. These scales provide food for the bulb over the winter time. The bulb will grow roots. Roots are the stringy part of the plant that are under the soil. They soak in water and they keep it in place. Daffodil bulbs are planted in the late summer or early fall. In March, the daffodils start to shoot a stem out from the bulb, and we start to see the flowers bloom as a beautiful reminder that spring is almost here.
I hope you are feeling inspired because now it's time to draw a daffodil. You're going to need crayons, paper, watercolors. All right, let's get started. If you want, you can create your daffodil laid out horizontally all over your paper and have them connect to the ground. I'm going to actually turn my paper vertically just because sometimes I like to do this. I'm going to make my daffodil look really tall. So I'm going to put my daffodil at the top of my paper, not the middle, the top, okay? And then all of my tall leaves will be around it. To draw the center of your flower, I want you to draw a small circle. Then we'll draw the crown. The crown can either be a circle or kind of a circle using straight lines. almost like a hexagon, but it's organic, and it goes around the circle. Around that, I want you to draw another circle. Draw this very lightly with your pencil. Lightly, meaning your pencil is barely tickling your paper. This is going to be a guide, and we're going to start drawing little tiny curved like petals using two curved lines. Do you see how the lines are curved? We're going to do that all the way around. Curved petals. Let's stop for a second. Let me show you this up close. I'm going to draw here curved petal. You see how the lines are curved versus straight lines. See how those are very different. We need to try to make our lines look curved and not so straight like the letter A. We want it to look like a petal. Remember, you should be drawing with a pencil. Feel free to pause the video and go nice and slow. There's no need to rush when we are taking our time, working on quality, and drawing our artwork. Keep working until your petals go all the way around your flower. Now, this part is optional, but if you would like to use an eraser and erase that light guideline that you drew, you can erase it. Now we have a beautiful crown, the center part of our daffodil. Now it is time to add the 6 petals. Let's start at the top. I want you to create a curved line. That line is about the size of my pinky. Now, going back towards the flower, we need to draw a second line. Do you see how big that petal is? Now you try. Now we need to make one on the opposite side. Not next to it, the opposite side. So on the opposite side of your flower, try your best. Use 2 curved lines and make a second petal. Now we're on to number 3. You guys are doing a great job. These petals should be touching. They are curved and they are nice and wide. And then the opposite side of the flower as well. Keep doing this step until we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we need 2 more on opposite sides that are nice and wide. If you make your petals and they are too small, you can try again. This is why we're using a pencil with an eraser. As long as your petals are nice and big and touching and go all the way around, I'm sure your daffodil looks beautiful. At this time, I want you to create as many daffodils as you like. You can have a field of tons of daffodils, or you can keep just one. However you want to design your artwork is up to you as the artist. Just follow these steps and create as many flowers as you would like. All right, now it's time for us to work on our stem. The stem of the daffodil is very long. It's going to reach all the way towards the bottom of your paper. For your stem, I want you to draw a slightly curved, long line towards the bottom of your paper. We're going to create a second line that is parallel to this line. Parallel lines are 2 lines running side by side. Remember to draw slowly. Notice how I move my whole arm and not just my hand? I use my whole arm and pull the pencil towards me as I create my lines. I encourage you to try different things and learn what works best for you. Some of you may want to just create the dirt down here at the bottom and not draw the bulb, but I'm going to draw the bulb. It's basically a circle drawn by using 2 curved lines and then drawing lots of roots coming out of the bottom. That onion-like bulb is under the ground. We are drawing below the dirt level here. Following this curve is where our other leaves will go. A dandelion leaf is different from the other leaves we've created this year. See this curved line I just created? All I'm going to do is go slowly and draw a parallel line that goes with it. 2 lines running side by side. Now, your job as an artist is to fill your paper. You can create more flowers, or you can use the same technique and make more leaves. No matter how you choose to fill your paper, as long as it is full and looks like a beautiful spring warm morning, it will be perfect. You can use overlapping, which is when one leaf goes in front of or behind another. I wonder, how many dandelions can you create? Now it's time for us to think about color. Most of these dandelions use yellow. A lot have white, and a few have orange. These warm colors represent the warmth of spring. Remember, we like to use crayons first. This gives our watercolors a nice base of color. Use the greens, the light greens, the dark greens, and the lime greens to create some variety of color used on your stems and your leaves. Now it is time for watercolor. Remember, the secret ingredient in watercolor is water. Use lots of water. Water will help your colors stay clean. It will help your brush flow nicely across your paper and not look like it's thirsty. It will make your flowers look alive. Flowers need water to survive, and so do your watercolors. Even when you're doing your stem, make sure you're using lots of water. You can finish up your paper here at the bottom by drawing brown and making it look like your bulb is under the ground. Or you can leave it white like I did. Your artwork should be full of flowers that are big and small and close and far. This is how artists show space. Things are big and some are small. When you're finished with your artwork, post it on Seesaw so I can see it. I hope you had fun. Now it's time to clean up your paints, put them somewhere safe, and go outside and look for some daffodils.